Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Amateur Repair Time. Now, if you've been watching our videos a while back, I guess it's been, by the time you see this video, it's probably been 6 or 7 weeks ago. I did a video on a little console record player that was a JVC. What do they call it? Nevico, whatever. Little console record player that I sold. And the reason I sold it was because I was saying that it was a little too small for me. It's a little too short. And we fixed it up. It was a tube unit. We got it going. Sounded pretty good. Played records. Got good radio reception. And I told you in that video that I was selling it because I had another one. Well, I had bought this one, which is why I sold the other one. And so I planned on fixing this one and keeping it. I have yet another one in the room that I'm going to put this one in. And my plan was fix that one, sell it too, and keep this one. So I originally had two, the one that we did the video on, and then the one that I have in the other room. And so I bought this one and I was like, oh, I like that one a lot. I'm going to replace the other one with it. So this is a Columba 360, I think it says. We'll see. We're going to get all into it. I'm sure you already know by the title. Well, things have changed. I have yet another one now, so I'm probably going to sell this one too. So we'll see. Now on that previous one, that JVC one, that Victor one, I mentioned in the video, I think I could sell this for $100. And then I thought maybe $150, and then I was like, oh, I'll probably sell it for $100. And of course, I didn't pay much for it. And I'm happy to report that it sold very quickly for $100. I put it online and had several people interested in it. And someone showed up like 2 days later after I put it online. I put it up on a Saturday, I think, and then Monday they came and got it at my shop. So someone bought it. They said their wife saw it and just had to have it. So I was happy to see it go to a good home. This one's really cool. It's really dusty and dirty, so we're going to clean it up a little bit. And this one is only a record player, I believe. So we'll see if we can get it going, and then I'm probably going to sell it too. Might do the $100 thing again. The other one I got $150 out of. This one's a little bigger. I think this one's a little nicer, which is why I wanted to keep it. But then I started comparing it to the one that I have in the other room, and I like that one better, and it's the one I've had the whole time. So I'm probably going to let this one go. But then I have got a new one. I've got a Magnavox set that's even nicer than the other one. So we'll see. Stay tuned. So let's check this one out first, though, and see what it needs and see if it works. Columba 360 K2. It's a K2. So it's very dusty. I picked this up at an auction, and like I said, I picked it up intending to keep it because I just really like the look of it. Have no clue if it works. I got it very inexpensively. I think it was 20 bucks. Might have been 15. So let me spin it around so we can look at the amp and everything. So it's from December of '56, it appears. It says C76. And it happens to have the schematics. I can't see a thing on them. They always get a little worn, don't they? Does that say Ronette C cartridge? Very similar to that other one we worked on. So it doesn't actually give us a model number on there. Although this does say C76, and on the front it said K2, didn't it? Columbia model. It's printed as 525, but they have inked over at 527. Big nice, is that a 12 speaker? Maybe a 10. Boom, boom, boom. Here's our turntable changer. Now remember, we just did that video on my Columbia record player. That's in the other room. Little tabletop unit. And here is our amp. Not much to it. So you know what I think? I think we just go ahead and pull the amp out and recap it. Because I want to be able to say whenever I sell it that it's been recapped. Now, a lot of people would try it out first, but, you know, and sometimes I do that on the old ones. I mean, not the old, this is an old one, but on the radios that I'm going to keep and stuff, just to play with it a little bit. But I don't have much interest in playing with this one. I just want to get it working well so I can sell it. So I think I'll just go ahead and pull the amp out, and we'll start with that first, because we're going to have to work on this stuff too, oiling it, cleaning it. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, ooh, Ronnie, that looks like mold. That's not mold. It's just wannabe mold. It's not real mold. So it has a little bridge up on the top with the 3 pots on it. And, you know, since this isn't a radio, it doesn't need much. It just needs enough to amplify the audio coming from the cartridge. So it's got a domino resistor and a paper cap over there. Can't tell. I guess that's another paper cap. And then whatever is in the cartridge here, or not the cartridge, the case here. So you got 3 tubes and a filter cap set up. The one tube was bent out of the way. And you've got a output transformer. You know, all this is fine and dandy, but one of these days I'm going to get one where the output transformer is messed up. That's going to slow me down. You can get those, you know, there's tons of them on eBay and stuff, but... All right, so let me take these. It doesn't look like anybody's ever been in here. Let me take that cardboard off. Cardboard is off. That one looks boombastic. Ain't it fantastic? So that's cap number 3. We got a little bit of greenery on our legs of that resistor there. Got lots of disc capacitors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's cap number 4, and underneath it, cap number 5. Cap number 6. And then the filter cap is just 2 caps. Nope, 3 caps. Nope, 2 caps. Black common. So how many was that? 8? There's like 8 caps. Nothing to it, folks. What an easy one. But we got a bunch of resistors to check too. See if they're all in spec or close to spec. Quite a few of those. But we don't have the problem where the... I should check before I mention it. Ooh, here's everybody's favorite. Nope, that's just a regular diode, I think. So power comes in here. Yeah, no rectifier. You'll all be happy about that. Everybody hates it when I leave the rectifier in it. Yeah, so just not much going on, really. I'd love to get a better look at that schematic, but it's buried down in there. Let's see if by chance it's in the manual. I'll bet it's not. So here are the 3 knobs. I could see in the pictures that these were freaking crusty. I think they'll clean up pretty good. You think I should try these in the ultrasonic? Is it going to damage that cool faux brass finish on those? I guess I should just clean them with soapy water. Okay. Here is a platter from the record player. Now think about this. This has been on it since 1956 and it's still inside of it. This record changer automatically plays either 10 12-inch, 12 10-inch, or 14 7-inch records at either 33, 45, or 78 RPM. And the 16 RPM talking book records will play manually. It shuts off after the last record is played. It intermixes 10, 10-inch, and 12 records of the same speed. That's pretty cool. And has manual play position. After the changer shuts itself off, turn the changer control to on. Plays all 4 speeds, all 3 sizes. Pickup arm height. The pickup arm height is adjusted by means of the height adjustment screw, as illustrated in figure. To raise the pickup arm, turn this screw counterclockwise. To lower the pickup arm, turn clockwise. The pickup arm height should be adjusted so that with a 1 1/8 inch stack of records on the turntable, the pickup arm lifts 1/4 inch straight up as the change cycle starts. That's cool. Needle set down. This ruggedly built changer has been carefully tested and adjusted. However, after 69 years, is that right? 56, 40, 65. Yeah. This ruggedly built changer has been carefully tested and adjusted. However, after 69 years, it may be necessary to adjust the needle set down position. If needle falls off record lift tone arm, turn index screw on tone arm support. See illustration. A small amount until the needle lands in the correct position. Operating instructions. After unpacking or transporting unit, revolve the turntable clockwise about 5 revolutions by hand to clear the automatic changer mechanism. Yep, I've seen that before. Load. Lift and turn record support arm out of the way. Place records on spindle and place record support arm back on top of the records. 2. Select needle. Set needle selector knob to either 33, 45 or 78, depending on type of record to be played. For 16 RPM records, set selector at 33, 45 position. 3. Select speed. Set turntable speed knob to proper speed for type of record to be played, 16, 33, 45, or 78 RPM. And 4. Start. Turn control knob to reject and release. Changer will then play all records on the spindle and automatically shut off after the last record is played. Notice, always return the speed selector to S78 storage position when changer will not be used for an extended period of time. We'll check. This unit is equipped to operate the 45 spindle accessory. Make sure the cross or 45 is facing the rear of changer. Has it been stored properly, folks? Did they put it away just like it told them? Now, they kept that paperwork all this time to tell them to put it where it says 78. Come on now. Tell me you put it in the 78 position. Oh, come on. Now I got a divot on my idler wheel. That ain't right. Why'd they do me like that? It's told them right here. All they had to do was read it. All right, instruction manual. What do you think? Is this going to have a copy of that schematic in it? I'm going to say there ain't no way in heck. What does this say here? BH15, 388.50, 469. Oh, wait a minute. That kind of looks like the square root, or the divide. What is it? What are they? Is that a 5? I'm confused. BH15, that's what that says, right? So that's 380, 850, 820, 180, 50, 226. So the markup on this, from there to there, see, this is about 20 cents. That is a little more than 20 cents, so that's about the same. And then 180 to 220, you're adding, let's see here, $46, which would be 23% if it was 200. But that's not 200, it's a little less, which means that's a little more percent. So instead of 23%, it's more like almost 30% maybe markup from there to there. So 3 times 18, it'd be 36, it'd be 54. So 180 and 54 would be 234. So it's not quite 30%. It's more like 27 or 28%. Okay, so then 388.50. Let's say if we did the 30 thing again, we could do 38 and then be 76 and then be 100 and 114. So that would be 400, be right at 500 bucks. So that's not right because it's not really 30%. It's more like 27%. Yeah. The ratio between that and that is not the same as that and that. All right. Warranty, important, do not operate before reading these instructions. That guy that left me a message on my clock video saying that I talk too much, he's really going to hate this one, but that's all right because I blocked his ass. Do not operate before reading these instructions. The Model 527 is one of the Columbia 360 K2 series, which signifies two things. First, that the 360 sound system has been incorporated in the unit, and second, that it uses the advanced Columbia Kilosphere electrostatic tweeter. Yes, it does. By 360 sound system, we mean that the amplifier is of special high-fidelity design and that the speakers have been scientifically located to produce optimum results. The Kilosphere tweeter is Columbia's new departure in the reproduction of high-frequency sounds. All of the skill and artistry at our command have been utilized to make this model a fine instrument. Broad range of the controls allows for listening to suit every taste. Compensated loudness provides for complete sound at all listening levels. All right, and it's going to tell you how to do the same thing that the little thing there did. And they gave us our schematics. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Manual operation, the 45 RPM spindle. Ooh. Holy crap. I never knew that. You're supposed to tip the record onto the spindle. That's why it has that little cutout. I've been messing with these since I was a baby. I mean a baby. And I always thought it was weird that they had the little weird little spindle, but I thought it was so it could move that little thing that makes it drop. I never thought that you could tip them on there. Oh, that's how you drop it to the bottom. That's how you get past it. Okay, I probably figured that out just messing with it. For best results, replace with CBS2. Oh, yeah, I'll be sure to do that one. Yeah. Yeah, we'll use your... Come on now. I'm not going to... Well, I might. I mean, I'll test them. And if I've got a CBS, I'll put it... We'll see how it happens. We'll see how it works out. Okay, folks, so I've been recapping it. I have recapped it. So I put the 2 filter caps over here because that's where all the lines went anyway. And nothing's touching. Everything's where it can't bend and touch easily. It should ride like that just perfectly. The rest of the stuff I just cleaned off. I checked all the resistors. Yeah, most of them are a little higher than they're supposed to be, but not crazy, so I left them all. I didn't have to replace any. 3 more caps right there. And they, you know, the schematic says that's a selenium rectifier. I didn't know that the selenium rectifiers ever looked like that. I thought they were always that little square thingy. So we'll see if that one blows up, like everybody always tells me the other ones are going to blow up. And then I got in there and replaced the 2 caps in there. That actually, according to the schematics, that's a cap. That domino thing, I could have sworn it as a resistor, but it says it's a cap. That would be it right there. So 820 picofarads, maybe. Most of the resistors aren't crazy. Like these 200Ks are both like 103. Of course, I replaced the 2 caps there. This 39 watt is like, it's way too high. It's like 60. I mean, not 39 watt, 39 ohm, 1 watt is like 60. However, since our line voltage is higher, I'm not that worried about it. I guess we'll see what the rectifier is doing, but you know. So they wanted 112 at the tubes, and so they ran it through a resistor to lower it a little bit. I don't know. It says it'll hold up. It'll do up to 125 though, and that's about what mine is. So we'll watch that. We'll see. I think it'll be fine though. Most of the other stuff seems fine. The Kilosphere speaker. What do you think about that? I've never seen anything like that. So we'll see how it sounds. The cord seems fine. These cords seem fine. They're just dirty, so I'm going to wipe them down. And I'm going to test the 3 tubes real quick, see if they seem decent. I sprayed contact cleaner in all 3 of the adjustments. This one is treble. This one they're calling loudness. And this one is bass. So that's the hi-fi. It has, I guess that's 2 tweeters, a 12 or whatever it is in it, and separate bass and treble adjustments. And if you want to see how they did that, your guess is as good as mine, but it's right on the cartridge. So it looks like if you short the 2 sides of the cartridge together more, that's going to either increase or lower your bass. And if you yeah, I don't see how the treble one works. I don't get that. But you see the schematic. And it doesn't look, like I said, it doesn't look like this is exact, though. There were a couple things that seemed different to me, but little minor things that don't really matter. Like on this volume control here, it runs through those 1,000 capacitors and then into the resistor that's connected to the chassis, but it was actually the other way around. It ran through the resistor and then the capacitor that was connected to the chassis. And then all of that is isolated from the B- by this capacitor here underneath the volume controller. So I don't know. It's a little bit different than that says. But it doesn't look like anything was touched. You saw it as good as I did. All right, let's check those 3 tubes. That's next. All right, first up is a 12AX7. And the first part of it is barely good. But if you've watched any of my previous videos on this thing, that's how they always look. But there's 2 sides to a 12AX7. So we need to go to ABF, A, B, F, EC, E, C. Let me double check it, make sure I'm not about to fry anything. Don't want to be about to fry anything. And we'll try the other side of it. Gotta let the heater heat up. it's probably fine. It's probably fine, folks. I don't know what you're all worried about. Test 1. Might be early. Might have not heated up enough yet. Let's see if she goes up a little. Maybe it's a little bit. Oh, it's trying. Let's see if I can get it up into the question mark area, and then I'll feel like, oh, that's passable. I don't know. That's pretty firmly not in the question mark area, but I guess we'll see how it sounds. If it sounds like crap, we'll know that's it. That's the output. Isn't that the output tube? Well, probably not if it's 12AX7. Let's see what they're doing with the 12AX7. They're using half of the 12AX7 as like a preamp, I guess. Is that what you would consider that? There's no RF in this because it's not a radio. And then they're using the other half of the 12AX7. Maybe to preamp it some more. What do you think about that? Do they even mention what it is? I'm just not familiar enough with them. I know 12AX7s are in a ton of radios, and they're in even jukebox amplifiers. And then a 50C5, two 50C5s are the output tubes. I'm just not knowledgeable enough about amp design to know much about this. I know if they use 2, usually that means it's a push-pull. I've heard that. Let's try it one more time. Oh, look. See, you saw I got up in the... It's good. Good to go. Okay, so the 150C5 is pretty good. The other one's marginal. So I think I might see if I've got another one. I think I've got a whole bunch of those. So they're not matched. Since if it's a push-pull, even if it's not, they're obviously matched, you know, so isn't it going to cause a bunch of trouble if they're not even close to the same output? So that one's a Sylvania. This one is a Raytheon. So let me see if I got another one that'll test somewhat similar to that. All right, I got a little cache of them here. That's better. So those two are pretty similar. All right, cool. We'll try that. I'll make it a little better, but I'll save this one because it'll be good for something else. I was just trying to make a match a little better. All right, so I mounted it back in there. Now, a better way to do it would be to actually measure the voltages in it. That's how we usually do it. But I got good hopes with this one, but we don't know about that rectifier. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I wonder, I guess I should probably plug the, I kind of need an input because I'm not going to know. I guess we'll just listen and see if there's hum. We'll check first and just see if there's a short, see if it's drawing amps, all of that stuff, right? So the way I usually test these, I got my little hookup, my setup over here. I've got a Variac. It's on 0 volts right now. It's plugged into a amp meter, and then the power is flowing into the record player. So basically at 0 volts, we're going to have 0 amps. Okay, but we're also turned off. You know what though? I don't have this plugged into it at all. I got to plug this into it. I was going to just leave the changer unplugged, but it's got the on-off switch on it, so that won't work. All right, so it's on now, but we have 0 volts going to it because of the Variac. But the switch is on. So all I'm going to do is turn up the volts, and we're not really trying to reform any caps or anything because we replaced all of them. We're just trying to see if it starts spiking a bunch of volts, amps, because there's a short. Oh, let me, we are on the low scale. Yes. So we're on the lowest scale, and we're sitting on the buckle. I usually have it turned sideways, but it'll be all right. So we'll turn some volts up to it. We're on that bottom scale. So we're at 0.2 or whatever. Yeah, we're good. So I'm just looking to see if, you know, if it pegs, if there's a short on it, you would, that needle would peg because it would start drawing a bunch of amps through it. Yeah, I'm hearing volume. It's the changer is trying to drop a record. So I'm not hearing volume. I'm hearing changer noise. Okay, so I've got it at, I think, about 125 volts, which is our line voltage here. And you see it was attempting to do its thing. Turntable, I can't believe the turntable's spinning so well, and I haven't even done anything to it yet. So this is loudness, they call it. Treble and bass. Dead as a doornail. I don't think it's amplifying anything because I'm touching the cartridge. Which typically should give you some noise. Yep, I think that rectifier is screwing us up. I should be getting a hum or something. Nothing. Okay, so that's 33. $45. Boy, she's trying. 78. Very cool. All right, so I think our amp's not working. Because, you know, even if this cartridge is bad, just me touching these leads is going to make it go boom. And you're going to get like an amplification hum, even if the cartridge is bad. So I'm going to have to take this loose and lay it maybe on the bottom of the, lay it on the ground. The reason that I had to put it back in was because I wanted to hook up the speaker. I don't want to operate it without the speaker, even though we had that tweeter over there. Okay, so let me see what I can do. All right, folks. So it's using the light. It's hard for you to see it, but there is actually glow on the tubes. So I think I know what the problem is. I think it's just that rectifier diode is bad. We're going to check. I've got the schematics here. Now, the reason that the tubes are glowing schematic is because the power comes in here, and before it gets to the rectifier, there is this leg here. Here's the motor. I don't really have a way of stopping that right now because we've got it turned on, and since all this is a record player, or changer, I guess, but that motor constantly has power when you're turned on because there's no radio. So basically, if the thing's on, the motor's turning, and the amp is working. So there is a string here that is the 3 tubes. And so we're looking at the 3 tubes, and they are lit up because that's working. So we know our AC is working. Our amp, though, isn't working. So I think it's going to be that this rectifier is dead. It could be this resistor screwed up. So we should have, if we check across the capacitor, we know we've got 120 going into the rectifier. And we know that because the motor is running and because the 3 tubes are lit up. If one of the tubes had a broken filament, none of them would light up because they're connected in series. So we know we've got our 120, but we need to see if we have our DC. We should have DC, and I still have the meter hooked up where I can see it right now. And we are at 0.3 something amps. So we're low. So if I check across the filter capacitor, which originally would have been a 6150, but we now have as a 100 150. If I just check across those, I should have my DC voltage right there. The only problem is that takes out of play the 50 watt resistor. The 50 ohm resistor. So let's do this. We want DC voltage. We're looking for less than 200 volts, basically. Let's see what we get. Here's our filter cap, one of them. So our negative is going to be the negative side of that cap, which is right here. Our positive is going to be the other side of it. Dead as a door now. Dead as a door now. So if I put it on AC, and go back to the other side of that diode, we should have our 120. 118. 118 on the other side of the diode. Now that seems, why would that be? But if you think about if the diode's not working, that's what you're going to end up getting. Yeah, so I think the selenium rectifier, which it's not a, it's listed as a selenium in here. So DC voltage, we got nothing, and we got nothing. I think we just need to replace that diode. Simple as that. So I'm going to put a modern 1N4007 diode in it, and I think that will fix our problem with the amp. That may get our voltage too high on the other side of the diode, so we might have to mess with the resistor, but if it's close, I'm going to leave it, because all it is, we don't have to worry about the RF of a radio or anything. All it is it's amplifying it's just a simple amp amplifying what's coming out of this record player. So we'll see. All right, so I have replaced the diode with a new diode, a silicon diode. And I just tested the old diode, and it was clearly shorted. So I don't know how I missed that before. So it tested like 0.15 or something instead of the 0.4 or 0.6 that you would want to get. So I'm going to turn we're going to go back to where we were. I'm at 0 volts. We have turned on the turntable. Get it? Turned on the turntable. I kill me. I hope I don't kill me with electricity here, screwing around with this. All right, so I'm over here on the other side of the camera. All of this isn't quite long enough where you can see it, the meter. But I'm just going to turn it up and tell you what the meter reads. So I've got the turntable on. We are at 0.3 amps at 70 volts. Okay, turntable's on. We have made it up to 110 volts. Nothing's catching on fire. We've still got our tube glow. It's 120 volts. We're at 0.3 amps. So we're basically where we were. So I guess I need to try to turn it up and then see if I can hear any amplification yet. See if that alone got us going. I don't hear nothing. I think we might still be dead. Let's check our voltage. And then we'll try the cartridge test again. Let's see here. DC. I'm about half deaf, so it could be that it's humming and I just don't hear it. You'd think you'd hear like a pop in the speaker or something. Come on, baby, don't shock me now, baby. Come on now. Come on, baby, don't shock me. I want to put my finger against the thing to brace it, but I'd rather not. Yep, see, we are still not there, folks. Oh yeah, we are. There we go. We're low though. $80 volts. That ain't right. Well, wait a minute. I don't know what that voltage is supposed to be. It doesn't actually tell me. But, well, we know that can't be right, though. Because we're 120 going in and we're 80 coming out. Ain't no way. And that's before that resistor. Let me see if I can use chassis ground or if I need to use... No, there's a cap separating ground from chassis ground. Okay, so I don't know that I've got a great connection here, you know? So that's this resistor. 80 volts on that side of the resistor. One volt on that side of the resistor. You would think, though, that if that was a short, Um, You'd think if there was a short screwing that up for us, that just that resistor being there, that, you know, obviously has major issues. The resistor's bad, obviously. But you would think that that would allow the diode to do what it wants to do, and that it would raise that voltage way up. That you'd have, you know, if 120 is going in, you ought to have 140 or 150 coming out, you would think. All right, so I'm going to try the cartridge just to make sure, but I don't think it's working because I think our resistor's burned up. Yes, still nothing from the cartridge. Okay, cool. All right, well, I believe we're going to have to pull this all the way back out so that we can do more extensive work on it, because we've got to at least replace that resistor, and we have to figure out what else is shorted that is that's lowering that voltage so much. It shouldn't be that low. All right, so I'm working through it. I took the resistor out, and it broke in half as I was taking it apart. And it's all oxidized. Why didn't y'all tell me earlier to check the resistors? I had it all out. Why didn't... I must have not checked the resistors, and you sat right there and watched me not check the resistors and didn't say a thing. Now, you're always so quick to correct me when I'm right. Why won't you correct me when I'm wrong? I don't get it. Okay, so it's wired wrong, or this is the wrong schematic. But it's wired so close to right, I kind of think this is the right schematic. And two, I haven't mentioned, I haven't worked on this in about 3 weeks. So about 3 weeks ago, we did the first part of the video. I let it sit around. Now I'm coming back to it. I do that a lot, actually. So I'm in the middle of like 4 different videos right now. This is how I like to work. And it actually is pretty... It's a good way to troubleshoot because I forgot everything about this in 3 weeks. I don't remember anything we were doing. So then you go back to it, and you know, if I would have been working on this right after we had done it before, I might have not checked the resistors or anything because I thought, well, maybe I had it in my head for some reason they were good. I don't know. But now that I have let it sit for a while, now I go back to it and I go, well, damn, the resistor's bad. Why didn't I check the resistor? Because I forgot whatever reason I didn't check the resistor for. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, the schematic is so simple. So the power comes in. This is, we'll call the ground, and it goes to the switch. That's correct. It runs up through here to the changer, through the switch, and then back. Okay, so that, we're unplugged, by the way. Here's the power lead coming in. One lead goes right here. We'll call that the ground. And then one lead goes over here, and then back out through the switch, and then the power comes back down to right here. So that's power, and that's power, 120 between them. Okay, so this ground, or I've already screwed up. This is the hot. Remember, they always switch the ground on these. If you didn't know that, on these old ones, they switch the ground. I guess it's either way you want to look at it, because since it's AC, it doesn't matter. But keep in mind that they're running the rectifier on this part, right? So that's the hot, really, but whatever. So one's here, one's here. So this one runs through this resistor and then runs the string of filaments. Okay, so that's coming in here, runs through the resistor, runs the string of filaments, and then they're connected to ground. So here's the ground, which is switched. If you see this little black wire here, that's the original black wire that went to the filter cap. I've still got it hooked up, but I don't have the positive side of the filter cap, either one hooked up. I probably should just cut that black wire out too. And then if you look, how are they doing the other side of that? Well, this wire is one way. Is that our whole problem? The ground isn't really... No, that's correct. Okay, so that they have a wire running from here over to our super lug here, where about 50 things are hooked up. You can see it there. Right? So electrically, this is the switched ground. Not here, here. This is the switched ground. You've got all this different crap hooked to it. So one of the things that's hooked to it is this filter cap. One of the other things that's hooked to it is this filter cap, both of the negatives of those two filter caps. Then you've also got a resistor here, a resistor here, a resistor here. This is all the stuff that's tied to ground. Another resistor there. Tons of stuff tied to ground, right? So that's, I don't know where somehow the end of the string of the filament's getting tied to it, but there's the ground of the cap, the ground of the other cap. And then there's a big old freaking resistor. Now, it shows two resistors here, and they've written 6.8 meg in between them. So there's one here, and then there's one here. I guess, I mean, it's 68 meg between them. So I guess they're saying that both of those are 68 meg, okay? So this one is from the ground running over towards the speaker. And if you look, there's one over here on the ground running to here. There is a white wire attached to it. I guess that's a yellow wire. It's just faded. And it does run out to the speaker. So that's probably correct. All right, so that's our ground side. Okay, now if we look at the other side, what I'm calling the hot side, the power runs in and it runs to the motor. Well, that is right here. This wire right here. So here's the power coming in. Here's the wire connected to it running out to the motor. Okay, and then it's also connected to that series resistor to the string. So that's that wire and that part. And then it connects to the selenium rectifier. Right? So there is a wire that's a red wire right there that snakes around and connects here. And this is exactly where our diode was that we just took out. That tested that. Because it's a piece of crap. It's old. Right? So I've got it installed the proper way. Cathode. I always get this confused. Anode and then cathode. Okay? And then when it gets here, it only connects to one thing. All it connects to is that resistor. And then on the other side of the resistor, connects to the first filter cap, connects to 1,000 ohm resistor, connects to a 6.8 meg resistor, or 68 meg resistor, and connects to the output transformer. Right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 things connected to the other side of the resistor. But on the selenium rectifier, it's only connected to the resistor. That's it, period. This is not a connection, right? And you know that because it's ground down here, and then it would be hot here, so those aren't connected together. It just crosses over. That's why there's no dot there. So connect to the resistor and then connect to 4 things on the other side of the resistor. The way they had it, and you just saw it, was there is a red wire running from the selenium rectifier over to the first leg of the resistor, was right here. Then you go through the resistor, and the resistor connects to the capacitor, that's 1, connects to the resistor, the 1,000 ohm resistor, that's 2, connects here to the output transformer, that's 3, right? But where's the fourth one? The fourth one's right here. They've got it connected to the wrong spot. They've got it, the 6.8 meg resistor, 68 meg resistor, which is right here, connected with this red thing to this lug instead of this lug. Very minor, but so they've got this, instead of being connected here, they've got it connected here. I don't know why that would be. So I don't know. You know, that might raise the volume or something. Who knows, right? It's probably not that big of a deal, but I'm going to fix it. And you've got a really tight mounting space between here and here. So they had the legs all bent out and it mounted down here. I think what I'm going to do is join this red wire to this lug. Maybe just join these two lugs together. And then get rid of this red wire and make it the resistor from here to both of these lugs. And that'll give me a little more room to mount it, and it'll solve the whole problem. So I need to find a 5-watt resistor, 50 ohm, or something like 50 ohm. Now, since I put the silicon rectifier, they don't drop the voltage as much. A selenium rectifier isn't as efficient. So you put in 120 AC, the DC out, I don't know, maybe it's 130 or something. I don't know how that works. But on a silicon, you put 120 in, it might be 140, 145, something like that. I don't know. It's higher, right? So if this resistor happened to be bigger than 50, it would drop it more, which might be a good thing. That's my whole point. But what I'm going to do first is we're going to cut this wire loose, since I'm going to get rid of it anyway. We're going to cut this wire loose. Then we're going to pop this sucker back together. And with just the rectifier diode, see if we're getting our 140 or whatever it should be right here. So I think that's the next step. All right, so I've cut it loose. Let's put it on DC. DC volts. I guess we will use our same ground. We can't get anything here now, but let's see what we got here now. Well, if I can get a damn read. This thing does not want to cooperate. Come on, baby. I'm trying to fix you. Come on now. All right, we got glow on our tubes. This is very precarious. Yeah, I got nothing there. We got a bad solder joint on this wire, maybe. Let's try AC. I got a crappy connection on my ground here. There we go, that's a little better. Okay, so we got our AC. 53 volts, what in the hell? Look at that. Is that because there's no load? I don't think it works like it, does it? Maybe it does. 53 volts. Does it do that when there's no load? You know, it may, because there's no cap. Maybe the cap's needed to draw any kind of amperage through it. So we had it hooked up with just a resistor, and then a resistor over here, you know. There was no cap involved. So maybe with no capacitor, there's nothing to actually make any kind of current. There's no load. So maybe that's it. Maybe just the way a diode works is power won't flow through it without a capacitor on one side. That's my next guess. So it's time to put the power resistor in. Let's try that. She's beautiful. I call her Bogius Maximus. Okay, so it's a 5-watt resistor. It's a precision resistor. Only problem is the only one I had that was 5 watts was 180 ohms, which is probably too high, but we'll see. We'll see if it fixes our problem of not having current. But I think it may lower the voltage too much. But if it's close and it works, I'm probably going to leave it. We're killing 2 birds, 1 stone. We're lowering the voltage like we want, and we're replacing our broken resistors. All right, so I'm going to turn it up now. We'll see if I get anything different on the current. All right. We're at like 80 volts. Turntable's working. I don't see any fire yet. Something may explode, you know. Hum. I have hum. Rattle and hum, baby. Okay. There we go. All right. I think the cartridge is probably dead, but we'll see. Let's check our voltage. I'm also going to let it run for a few and then check to see how damn hot that resistor is getting. DC. You see how we worked it out, folks. We thought it through. I didn't have to have anybody tell me, even though all of y'all were screaming. That might have blown it. You think that blew it? Yeah, it may have. No, I still got my amperage. I can't ever get a good damn... There we go. 118 on the other side of the rectifier. Again, that seems weird to me. I thought it should be much higher than that. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. And then on this side of the resistor, 105. That's probably too low, but it does not tell us what the voltage is supposed to be. I would think it should be more like 130, something like that. Let me make sure it doesn't say anything about it on here. Yeah, it don't say anything. All right, so I'm going to put a record on it and check the cartridge. All right, it's playing, but it's just really low. So again, we don't really know if it's the amp or the cartridge. I would suspect it's the cartridge. So I'm checking I'm just turning the pots back and forth, seeing if it makes it pop in. You'll hear it pop in a little bit louder sometimes. All right, so the next thing I'm going to check, since we don't know what the voltages are supposed to be, I'm going to plug another record player in right here because it's very easy. All right, folks, so I have unplugged the turntable, and I have one of these little handheld, some kind of card game or something from the store, that has a video output and an audio output. So I'm gonna just turn it on and see if I can hear this playing through it at a decent volume. Now this isn't amplified, so it's going to be at a lower volume than that turntable theoretically would be, but we're just trying to figure out if we can get reasonable volume out of it, which would prove that the amp itself is working. Also, that connection's not too good on it because it's a slightly different setup than that. See how long the stem is of that? This one is shorter, so it might work, it might not. Let's see. All right, so clearly the amp works fine. That's pretty cool, really. All right, so that tells me that the cartridge is shot on the record player, but we already knew that, didn't we? It has a tone control somewhat. So here's the cartridge. Let's see if we can find a number on it or anything. It's a mono. I don't see any numbers. Do you see anything? I guess there's something there on the side. I just can't make it out. Oh, what is this on this side? I mean, what the hell are we supposed to make out of that? It does say something there, though, doesn't it? All right, let's try to zoom in more. We're going in, people. I just can't quite make it out. I'm about to rewatch this video. Ronette. Ooh. I like the Ronettes. I just can't read it. Oh, wait a minute. Ronette. Phonofluid. What? 10. I cannot make that out. 10-400-0V. Is that what it says? 70-400. Ronette. Yeah. Phonofluid. Is that what it says? What the hell? I guess it does. Anything that mounts like this that is mono, I guess, would work. And it sounds like it will amplify the hell out of it if it's amplifying that little... Yeah. All right, so I'll have to try to figure out what we're working with here. Boy, that needle don't look great either, does it? I have to figure out what we're working with here and see if I can get one of those ordered. All right, folks, so that'll do it for this time. I think we did pretty good, though. We fixed the amp, and it was definitely broke. Definitely broke. And it is amping like crazy now, so I like that. Sounds like we're going to get good sound out of it, good volume out of it, once I get a decent cartridge in there. So we'll do that next time. So we'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed it. And I got to go order a cartridge and hope it gets here before next week. Keep your fingers crossed.